Washed Up Sports Podcast.
Washed Up Sports Podcast.
The Washed Up Sports Podcast. What's going on?
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 What's going on, guys?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a Washed Up Sports Podcast. This is episode 30. My name is Evan Klein, and I'm glad to be joined alongside my co-host, Max Lindley.
What's going on, guys? We're a little sad right now. We just recorded a full episode and didn't forget to press record. It just stopped recording halfway through. So we're back re-recording this episode. So apologies if it's a little quick.
Yeah, this is episode 30. It was supposed to be a big one, and we just went through, and it was a banger, and now I'm discombobulated.
It's all right. We'll get back into it.
Yeah, I'm really let down.
It's all right. Let's get back into it. So starting off, we'll talk about some baseball. Final roster for the MLB All-Star Game was set this week.
Yeah.
So do you have any immediate thoughts on that, Evan?
Yeah. So I thought the game is going to be awesome, but I thought it was crazy that they decided for one day only they're not going to check the pitchers.
Yeah,
with the sticky substances. Like, that's weird.
It's such an admission from the Don.
Yeah.
Don Manfred.
Don Manfred. He doesn't deserve his name on this podcast. He's the Don.
He's the Don. It's just such a confession. It's like, yeah, we don't really care. We don't really give a fuck. We'll give him a 10-day paid vacation, then we'll let him do it in the All-Star game. It's like it's so strange. It's so strange.
It is.
All right. So let's talk about the actual players.
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. Sox sending 5 players, which is awesome.
Should be 6. But 5 players.
Yeah, should have been Alex Verdugo. That guy's the beast.
Having a great season, too.
Yeah. A little bit of a snub.
Yeah, a little bit of a snub. There were some good outfielders picked, but Evan and I, probably a little biasly, felt that Verdugo should have gotten the nod, at least for a reserve.
Right, and Aroldis Chapman was brilliant in April, but ever since then, this guy has like a near 5 ERA right now.
He's I think a 4.7?
Yeah, he's on the All-Star team.
That makes sense.
They chose that guy?
That makes sense.
Come on.
Yeah,
Get it together, guys.
No, but in the NL, at the end of the AL, DH and JD made it.
Along with Nelly
Cruz. That's very cool. And then the NL pitching is just ridiculous. That's something I wanted to touch on. Jacob deGrom, Yu Darvish, Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns, Kevin Gausman. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, this is
Zach Wheeler, German Marquez, just Trevor Rogers. Like, they're stacked.
Yeah, great pitching staff from the NL. They could just go inning by inning and just tear through batters.
Exactly.
Honestly, like, that's going to be really fun to watch. I love the All-Star game. I know a lot of people have different opinions on the All-Star game. Say it's a, whatever, but I enjoy it from a baseball perspective. I've always enjoyed that.
Yeah, so that is going to be, when did you say that was, Ev?
That's on the 13th, I believe.
July 13th. And someone else I wanted to just touch on, Fernando Tatis, just incredible. He made the All-Star game, but, he made a play the other night. I'll pull it up in post so you guys can see. He did this double jump.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Great defensive play from Tatis. Everybody knows about the pop in his bat.
Oh,
that
my
power
God.
is great. He's a great hitter, but he's, bringing the defense lately too. So, well-deserved Tatis, obviously one of the leading vote getters. Everybody saw that coming. So
yeah, very deserving for sure. So we got a Stanley Cup Finals update. Canadians playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. Game 4 was Monday night and went to OT. So I believe it was Anderson who won the game in OT for the Canadians. So they got a game. They were down 3-0. They're now down 3-1. Game 5 coming up later this week. I don't really think it's going to make a difference unless Carey Price can pull something out of his butt, but I don't think that's going to happen at this time of the season. He's already carried his team all the way here, so it's hard. It's really hard when you're such a good goalie and the defense that's in front of you isn't what you need.
True. Yeah. No, I think the Tampa Bay is going to wrap this one up in the next game, but I'm happy to see the Canadians get one at least.
Yeah.
Like, I'm rooting for them, but let's see. I mean, nothing's impossible, but just interested to see where that goes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping the Canadians can get one more, maybe. So, yeah, we both pretty much expect the Lightning to wrap things up in Game 5.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you brought something up to me earlier that I kind of
Mm.
wanted to talk about really quick.
Mm-hmm. What would happen? So I did a breakdown a couple weeks ago when we were off on Marc-Andre Fleury going behind the net, plays the puck goes out in front of the net, they score. What do you think would happen had the Knights not pulled Fleury and kept him in the rest of the series? Or Fleury doesn't play that puck? Like, I think they're winning that series and playing a much, much more equal game against the Canadians and then also against the Lightning, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think the Vegas team would be better suited to take this Lightning team than Canadians are.
Yeah, my main point would be though is like I think you're stupid to ever put in Robin Lehner over Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, Fleury's the better goalie right now.
Always.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever not a time where
Leonard, I
Fleury's-
don't want to take anything
No,
away
I
from
mean
him.
it's
He's
not
a
taking
good
anything
player,
away, but it's just like Fleury and Price are the two greatest goalies in our league still, you know? So like it's not taking anything away from Leonard. He's great, but just when you have Marc-Andre Fleury, it's stupid to play him, in my opinion.
I could see that.
You know?
I could get on with that.
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So we'll move on from hockey.
Yeah, today's episode is brought to you by the Daily Scoop. Daily Scoop is the premier dog walking and pet sitting service in Bergen County, located in Glen Rock. Daily Scoop provides service not only to Glen Rock, but to several surrounding towns as well. They ensure that you are getting the best possible care for your pets while you cannot be with them. From the simple dog walk to daycare, at the Daily Scoop, they have you covered. And if you need to leave town to visit your family or friends for the weekend, have no fear. Daily Scoop offers pet sitting services as well. Inquire for more at www.thedailyscoop.com. That's scoop with a K at www.thedailyscoop.com. Here's Max with their Instagram.
Daily Scoop LLC. Check them out. Scoop with a K.
Check them out. So now we're going to get to our interview with co-owner of Grizzled Hockey and goalie for SUNY Plattsburgh, Anthony Del Tufo.
Anthony, welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome, man.
We are now happy to be joined by Anthony Del Tufo. Anthony, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming on.
Nothing much. Pretty excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, dude. So you're a goalie at SUNY Plattsburgh, and you also started something called Grizzled Hockey. You're the co-owner of that. So we're going to kind of, get into a little interview and just talk a little bit about that. But, kind of just starting a little bit about you. So with hockey for you, you started playing with the Philadelphia Revolution of the EHL Eastern Hockey League 2019. And, I was reading a little bit about that. And, it seemed like they're huge with like D2 and D3 placements for kids and like helping kids get involved with college hockey. Tell me a little bit about that experience and what that entailed.
So I played with the Rev my second year of juniors right out of high school. Obviously, like any kid's goal is to play tier 2 or tier 1, whether it's the USHL or the North American Hockey League. I unfortunately didn't get the bounces that I thought, I could have had. And I ended up in the EHL, which is tier 3. And I played for Team Maryland, which was an expansion team in the EHL. And I played there for about roughly 3.5 months. And it was really cool. It was pretty cool to move away from home. Before college, I thought it was a pretty unique experience to, be down in Maryland, away from everyone, like kind of figuring myself out about hockey, just about who I was as a person. I love my billet. Yeah, I loved my billets I had in Maryland. They had 2 little kids, Chase and Bryce, 11 and 6. They're awesome. I still stay in touch with my billets. They actually send me Christmas presents every year. I send them back.
Oh,
it's
that's
really
awesome.
cool.
That's so
Yeah,
nice.
like stuff like that. I really was appreciative of. And so I played for Team Maryland until November. I was up and down with the North American team, the Maryland Black Bears, who are also an expansion team in that league. And they had a goalie get hurt in a morning skate. I actually had just finished my EHL practice, and I was on my way home at like 3:00 in the afternoon, and I get a call from the coach. He was like, "What are you like? Where are you right now?" And I was like, "I'm on my way home. We just got done with our EHL skate." He's like, be back at the rink by 5. You're dressing tonight. And I
Wow.
was just totally taken by surprise. Called my billets, and I said, "Hey, like, I don't know. I know you guys go to the games. I'm just letting you know, like, I'm dressing. So if you guys can make it out, I would love that."
That's awesome.
So yeah, so I got called up for that game. Got sent back down, didn't play, then got called up as an emergency starter because both the goalies went down with concussions. About 3 weeks later, and played a game, played well. We ended up losing, but the coach, gave me some good feedback, and then I stuck with that. Uh, Played the next weekend. We swept the Northeast Generals, which was pretty cool. Really skilled team. I actually have a teammate at Plattsburgh now that I played against that weekend, which is pretty cool. It shows how small the hockey world is.
Yeah.
And stuck there for the year, and then I tried to stay in the NA. Unfortunately, I just couldn't make. Being an age out goalie is tough, especially in the NA, unless you're a very well established player. And I had only played 15 games, so signed with the Philadelphia Revolution the night before training camp. Actually, night before training
Wow.
camp.
Look at that.
Yeah, I was talking to their coach, and I said, "Hey," I was pretty honest with them. I said, "I'm gonna try to go play Tier 2 in the North American League again. Um, so if that doesn't work out, I will 100% sign with you." I signed with them, and I lived in an apartment there, which is pretty cool. It's a little
Nice.
different. I think that first year of having a billet was nice because of they helped cook. It was just more of like a transition from going from living with my family in high school to moving away, living with a billet family, and then going to the apartment.
Right.
So it was pretty cool to live in an apartment. I still talk to all my roommates, and actually, our team group chat from that year still talks pretty frequently just to see
Oh,
how
that's
guys are
awesome.
doing.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and I'm very close with my 2 coaches there. I obviously committed from the Revolution, which I'm very, very appreciative and just grateful for that they were able to help me get that commitment. But I would say my overall experience was it was definitely like a grind, and I'm sure you hear that with every player or every athlete. But it's junior hockey's different. It really tests you because you see all your buddies committing to schools, and I was very late. I committed in May,
Hmm.
and I obviously went to school in August, so not a lot of room, quick turnaround to go to
Yeah. Yeah.
school. So I was getting pretty anxious just seeing everything and not really hearing anything from schools, and um, it was just really cool being able to travel around those bus rides. I'll never forget going to
Yeah.
going to tournaments or showcases, and just like my one EHL coach, John Roger, coached in the USHL with John Cooper, who's the Tampa Bay Lightning coach.
Right.
So he's got some pretty good knowledge about the game, and I love this quote that he said, and it's been around a lot, met a lot of people, and I think that really has been that kind of summarizes like junior hockey. Like we've been all over the place. Like I played in Philly, I played in Maryland, I tried out for teams in Alaska, Wisconsin, Texas.
Wow.
So I could have ended up anywhere really in the country. So I really am grateful for it. Obviously, being a goalie, they don't. I'm sure Max knows too. Like looking at juniors, they don't really want you until you're 20, unless you're committed at 15, which I wasn't.
Hmm.
So taking that extra year really, I think, set me up for hopefully a successful college hockey career. As I haven't played a single game yet, because our season was canceled, sadly.
Because of
But
COVID,
yeah,
yeah. So kind of
yeah.
moving on to that, like you're at SUNY Plattsburgh now. So yeah, you just said you haven't played yet, but like with the team and everything, how's that experience been for you so far? Been good?
Being out of school for a while was interesting. I wrote my first paper in 3 years in February of this year, so I had to
Yeah.
get some of the rust off.
We were talking to another guy not too long ago, and he was saying, yeah, you know David Heimovich?
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking to David Heimovich, who's he's doing the USHL right now. He's like, I haven't done school in 2 years. He's like, it's crazy how that works after high school, how like a lot of players don't like keep doing school, and it's like just a big gap, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like I worked full time both years of juniors. I wanted to take classes, but one of the schools I was talking to recommended I didn't, just for like scholarship and aid purposes. So I just
Yeah.
decided to hold off and work and focus on hockey. But coming to school, my team's awesome. We're all really close, especially this year of COVID. I don't want to say it forced us to get close, but we were just obviously there wasn't really much to do, so we were always around each other, and we're like I really got to know every guy on my team, not just a few. So I'm really excited. My freshman class is a pretty big size. We're about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
The sophomore class is 11, so we're a very underclassmen team right now. But I think our underclassmen are going to play a big role in our success in the next few years, and I'm excited. I'm very excited to be a part of it. It was a very cool experience to commit to a school like Plattsburgh.
That's awesome, dude. I go to a fellow SUNY, Buffalo, so I know the SUNY life, you know.
Really,
Yeah. But
nice.
so I wanted to ask, so you started something called Grizzled Hockey with your goalie partner Anthony Schrum. You know, so you guys announced that April 2020. Tell me a little bit about Grizzled Hockey and that whole thing, because that's a big project that you're a part of.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Him and I were goalie partners at the Philadelphia Revolution, and him and I got very close as we were both like age outs. Kind of, we realized we obviously were going to compete against each other, but we also knew that if we're you know trying to fight for the net all the time, it's just going to create friction, and it's just not a good environment. So we kind of realized that we were going to work through it, and they ended up getting really close. And we were joking around about starting a company at the end of the year, and then once COVID hit, he actually called me and said, "Hey, like I'm releasing a shirt. Let me know what you think. Like, I'd appreciate if you bought one." It was a goalie shirt. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was goalie themed, and I bought one, and I was like, you know what, like I think this is a pretty good idea. And he said he was already thinking about starting a little clothing brand, and we just kind of from there just went for it and said, you know what, we're gonna have fun with this. And you know, it's been an awesome experience so far. We partnered with the EHL actually,
Oh, nice.
um, which was really cool. Our Neil Ravin, who's believe he's the assistant, our like assistant commissioner, really gave us a cool opportunity as alumni and really embraced us and all that. So it was really cool to have the league that we literally just got our college commitments from to allow us to come back into the community and try to help a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me, so you guys are like, it's like hockey, lifestyle, clothing, that type of thing. What does it mean to be a grizzled hockey player? Like, tell
We
me
were
what that
actually
means.
we were actually talking about that today. I was driving home from work and he was driving to the rink, and we were actually talking about that today. Um, I personally think a grizzled person is just someone who's been around, like, if you look at them, you could just tell, like, they've seen, like, not it's not necessarily a bad thing, but they've, like, seen a lot, and they exemplify, like, a good, strong person. Like, you could tell that they're a leader. Like, they give that leadership, like, vibe, or that leadership, like,
Yeah.
those leadership qualities. Like,
Yeah.
they're a person of integrity, they're tough. Like, for hockey, you see guys blocking shots with their skates, they're blocking shots with their face every once in a while.
It's like
You know,
that grinder
yeah,
mentality, you know?
yeah, it's that, like, the only way you're gonna beat me is if you kill me.
Yeah, dude, that's
So
crazy. I like that. I like that for sure.
yeah.
So, kind of the vision with Grizzled that you guys have, where do you see yourselves going with it? What's the big picture with Grizzled Hockey for you guys?
So we've been talking about this a little bit. We're not 100% sure because there's a lot of avenues that we could take, but we our goal is to not be like spit and chicklets or gong show or anything like that, but our goal is to just create hockey based shirts that the community would enjoy. And if you see a kid around the rink with it, you look at him and you're like, oh man, like that's a cool shirt. Like, I
Right.
want one of those. Something, just some fun stuff, because everything, especially in college, I'm sure like everything's very serious now, and it's just nice to be able to have fun with it, especially hockey, because it's given both of us so much. We just wanted to just do something, kind of give back.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy because that was the next question I was going to ask you, which is like, what has hockey done in your life? For you, like, tell me a little about like what draws you to this game, for so long. How has it impacted you? It seems like, you started the brand and, you're still playing, you traveled in juniors, like that's a grind. That shit's a grind. So like, what has it done for you? Like, what is it for you? That's kind of what I
Um,
want to find out.
I mean, I don't know if I could put it into words because I really am passionate about hockey, but I've met people that I am so grateful that I've met. I've made memories with countless teammates, coaches, just like even just by myself, just being on the ice alone. It's just it's brought me down a path that I could not be more grateful for, and it's made me met people like Max. I have a funny story about him that I could tell later. I'm sure he
I
knows.
would love that.
I'm sure he knows exactly what story I'm talking about. But it's met like stuff like that. Like you can just I could not see a guy for 4 years, and I'll bump into him, and we'll just get talking about when we played together or guys that we know. If you know hockey players, the first thing that they'll say when they meet each other is, "Hey, do you know that guy from this team?"
Mm,
Immediately,
mm.
because it's such a small community.
So for you, it's about the people, the more than
Yeah.
just like the sport itself, but the sport draws you to the relationships with the people, and that's what you love.
Yeah, and just to compete, being able to having the opportunity to just compete every day. Going to especially going to Plattsburgh, like we get a pretty good drawing from the community, not just the students, which I
Mm,
think is pretty special.
yeah.
It's more like a junior feel, which is I love, and like walking around town, even though I have never played a game yet, we practiced for about 5 or 6 weeks. People still recognize me as a Plattsburgh State hockey player, and it's we have that extra responsibility, but I also have people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, like you're the freshman goalie, or you're the kid from New Jersey. Like, I can't wait to watch you guys play." Like that means a lot to me.
Sure. Absolutely. And by the way, Max over there in the peanut gallery said he does know the story that you're
Oh,
going to
I'm sure
tell.
he does. Yeah.
But before we get into that quick story, like one of the last things I wanted to ask you, so you were talking a little bit about your partnership with the EHL, and I that's really cool. So like, is there any other leagues that you're trying to collaborate with, or right now you're focused on that partnership?
We definitely are trying to expand you know, our grab on the hockey world. The EHL obviously was huge. Me playing in the NA, I've talked to my old junior team trying to maybe facilitate something there in the future. You know, it's small steps because this is a newer business. We've been around for just over a year, so we still got some of those things to work
And
out.
in just a year, you guys are creating a decent following for yourselves over on Instagram. I saw, that's something to be proud of for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We're really trying to make this something fun for all ages. So, you know, if you're a men's league player, you can relate, or if you're a squirt that's learning just how to skate and stick
Yeah,
handle and
dude.
all that stuff, it's supposed to be everyone.
Yeah, I like that. So let me hear this Max Lindley hockey story because he doesn't tell me anything. So
Well, first of all, my dad has requested, who coached Max the year they won the state championship. He has requested me to say that Max was his favorite player that he's coached.
wow, that's huge. He's coming
Yeah,
over. He likes that. He's coming over
I'm
I'm
from
sure he
I'm
does.
absolutely honored.
Yeah, he.
Absolutely honored by Big Frank the Tank.
I told him that I was coming on here, and he was like, "Oh, well, make sure you mention to Max that he's my favorite." I'm like, "Okay, all right, all right."
settle down there.
Yeah, I was like, "All right,"
He was the
but
best though.
oh, he still loves it. He wears his ring every once in a while just to get under my skin. He's like, "Yeah, you don't have one of these."
Oh,
I love it. I
But
love it.
so the story
all
with
right.
Max was
Onwards with you, Max.
we had an empty slot and Glenrock did, and my travel coach was their head coach, Anthony Yelovich, and my dad was the assistant with him, and also our goalie coach, Max and I's goalie coach, was the other assistant coach there. So I
Is
knew
that
the
is that
entire.
is that Zane?
Yes,
I know
yes. Oh,
Zane. Zane's a
everyone knows Zane.
great guy.
Yeah, he's an
Because
awesome
he
guy.
he was he was a TA at our high school, so like everybody knew Zane. It was yeah,
That's
he's a
awesome.
good guy.
Yeah, he's like he's a player coach. Like he's very good to relate to. Like I relate to him when we're skating. Like we'll just talk about life, not just hockey.
Yeah.
And so we have this slot open, and our coach Yelovich, he texted me one night. He's like, "Hey, you guys have like this date open?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so." He's like, "Oh well, we have a like I heard you guys have a slot." And I said, "Yeah, I think we do." And I'm like, "Call my coach, schedule a game." So the game gets scheduled. So I know this entire coaching staff. My dad's on it, and I've him and I go back and forth all the time about Mo Beard was better, Glenrock was better, this and that, and
Yeah.
so we're playing, and the first period ends, and like Zane and Max are saying stuff to me. I don't really remember what it was, but they were saying stuff, and then the second period comes around, and I go to their end, and I just look over at their bench, and my dad was on the bench. He was just watching from the stands, but he came down for the third period. But Zane and Max are screaming at me from the other end, or from their end.
Some good old chirps.
Yeah. Oh my God, they were ripping me, and I just like I'm like I do a little figure eight in between whistles just to keep myself busy, and I like skate over, and I'm just like I can still hear them. Like it had to be 4 minutes into the period. They're still going. Just about everything and anything they could possibly say. And
That's unreal.
oh man, and I've seen Max get under some goalie's skin pretty good, and I just was kind of chuckling, like just laughing in the net, like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah,
And
dude, that's crazy.
but yeah, Max would just not stop. He was nonstop the whole game.
Kid's relentless.
But he was a good sport about it though.
All right.
I think he was
at least you can give him that.
No, he was a good sport. But yeah, I'll never forget that he was just running his mouth the whole game with us. And it made it fun. Like that was a serious game, obviously, because I wanted to beat Glen Rock because my dad was coaching. But
yeah,
also
that shit's personal.
It got real personal. It got on Twitter.
Wow.
It was the Battle of the Del Tufos in high school hockey.
Damn, that's a legacy though that it'll live on in New Jersey hockey for years to come.
Yeah.
Your children's children will talk about that one.
Yeah, I hope. But
Yeah.
I'll say this personally. I've never seen a player in high school hockey, actually in hockey in general, that's able to get under kids' skins as well as Max did. That Middletown North game they played Middletown North in States, and I was at the game just watching and supporting them. And Max got the Middletown North goalie in the middle of the game to skate over to their bench and chirp him back in the middle of the play because he was ripping him so badly from the bench. It was unbelievable. I've never seen that in all of my years of playing hockey.
It's funny because that's like the old Max that I remember, but the Max these days I feel like is like way more like reserved than he used to be, like out on the rink.
Interesting.
That's my 2 cents at least.
And I'll keep that in mind if we ever skate together again. But he definitely was someone that if you played against him, you remember that goalie for sure.
You remember that red hair?
Oh, that flow coming out of the net.
The flow's no longer, but
I know. I'm a bit disappointed. That was
I
kind of
agree.
his trademark.
I was a fan of it.
It's all right. Maybe. Hey, it's summer. Now's the time.
True that. All right, Anthony. Listen, it was great talking to you. Great having you on. I really appreciate the time, man. Best of luck to you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
We are back.
Welcome back from that fantastic interview with Anthony Del Tufo. Shout out Frank Del Tufo, my former hockey coach, Anthony's dad. And shout out Anthony for coming on the podcast. A bunch of great people.
Yeah, great guy. I actually really enjoyed getting to talk with him.
You learned a lot from him, too.
He was fun.
I remember last week you were saying I learned a lot about hockey from David. And I feel like you learned a lot from Anthony, too.
Yeah, 100%. That kid's going to do something. He's business savvy. He's all over the place. I like Anthony Del Tufo.
Yeah. Good guy.
Thanks for coming on again.
Absolutely. Check out Grizzled Hockey. We'll leave it linked below.
Oh, yeah. It's a cool thing he's got going there.
Yeah, very cool apparel.
So moving on to the Olympics, big situations going on. I know we wanted to touch a little bit on Sha'Carri Richardson. Max, take that away for us real quick. I'll give a little something at the end, but...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sha'Carri Richardson was disbarred. So, yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson was disqualified from the Olympics after testing positive for THC, marijuana. And this is really a growing situation because it really shows the hypocrisy and stupidity of these rules that the United States Doping Agency puts into place. Please, someone comment down below if you have an answer to this. How is weed a performance-enhancing drug, especially when you're talking about running? Please, if you have that answer, drop it down below. Otherwise, I don't have much else to say except for the fact that this is just pretty blasphemous. It's really screwed up what they're doing to Sha'Carri, and I feel like when you notice something is a stupid rule, an unjust rule that is borderline on a lot of things, it's better to rewrite the rule and readjust the rule than to enforce the crappy rule. That's my 2 cents. I'm sure a ton of people agree with me. I mean, it's fucking weed, people. It's weed. It's weed. It's not like she's doping. It's not like she's taking steroids. It's not like she's like enhancing her performance. She's trying to cope. It's stupid.
Yeah, I think she should definitely be able to run. I think, you know, she's a electric runner. She's so good, and she was on the map before this whole thing. Like people saw her, and she was going crazy on ESPN and all this stuff. She's a really talented athlete, and it's a shame to see this happen. The only I agree that it's an outdated rule, outdated policy, and something needs to be tweaked 100%, because we live in a world where it's a lot, it's pretty accepted. So, that should be taken into account
and used medicinally.
Yeah, that's true. And the only part of like the other side that I do see is like she made a mistake, but she knew that this was a rule, and she knew that this could happen and this could be a consequence for her action, and that's kind of what happened. So I see that side of it. I do, but I also understand that this is like pretty crazy, and if she ran, nothing with the weed would have to do with her performance.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy. It's a crazy world, guys. I don't know what to say.
It's just stupid, and you hope she gets the justice she deserves and is able to run.
Right. If not, this isn't going to be the last you hear from her, especially on the track.
No, she's
a great runner.
She's awesome.
So baseball will be at the Olympics for the first time since 2008. I believe that was the Beijing Games, if I'm not mistaken.
It was. You're right. Beijing.
6 nations will compete, which is a little small.
Yeah, that was my first thing. It was like, if you're going to bring it back for the first time in 12 years. Full throttle. Bring at least 12.
Yeah. So there's U.S., Mexico, Israel, headlined by the usual Ian Kinsler, who everybody loves. He was a Jewish guy who played in the MLB, who represents Team Israel, which was also fun. I know like Euclid used to play for Team Israel.
Did he?
Yeah, which is cool because he's Jewish. And there's a couple other former MLB guys who are on that squad. Japan's in there. They're going to put out a good team. South Korea and the Dominican Republic. So some good squads in there. I'm excited to see. I think my finals prediction for that would be, for the gold, would be U.S. and Dominican Republic. But don't sleep. Don't sleep on anyone. It's baseball. Anything could happen.
Yeah, I just think it's a little ridiculous. Like, you got first time, 12 years. You got 6 teams. And then, like, how is that going to work playing against each other wise? Are they going to do, like, a round robin?
I don't know. I didn't see that, what they're doing. You could just do, like, one side of a bracket, 2, 2, and 2.
But then anyone who plays the United States or Dominican Republic are, like,
they're
kind of at a huge disadvantage.
I mean, you could say that for, like, the basketball team that you're at, too, that you're at a huge
But there's
disadvantage.
way more teams for basketball.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
more chances for upsets. When there's 6 teams, I feel like there's way less chance for upset.
I think a round robin would be fun.
With like a double elimination type thing where they can lose and still compete.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. There's definitely a format out there. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So they're either probably going to do that or just do one side of the bracket where all 6 teams play, then 4 teams, then the winners of those. So it's like you start in the quarterfinals, basically.
I guess. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither, really. But
I'd like a seeding round.
yeah, I feel that.
Right?
Yeah.
Have everyone play.
It'll be good baseball.
Yeah,
at
it
least.
definitely
It's just
will.
fun.
It definitely will.
Yeah. Anyway, so U.S. basketball.
Mm-hmm. Looking to dominate.
The roster is up there. I love the roster they're putting out this year. KD is headlining, which is great. I'm happy to see him there. He's probably just gonna give buckets out.
Yeah.
After his crazy playoffs. Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Holiday, Middleton, Levine, Adebayo, Draymond, Jeremy Grant, Brad Beal, and Kevin Love. That's the rest of the team. Great team. I think they take gold easily.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But
yeah, it's just crazy. Like, you say they'll take gold easily, but like this is like excluding 2 of the top 3 players in the league. Like LeBron, Anthony Davis aren't playing. Kawhi isn't playing. Is Paul George on there? No, Paul George is not playing.
Paul George isn't on there.
So like, there's a ton of players who aren't playing, and we still think the United States will take gold easily in basketball. Just shows you the advantage that they have.
Right.
Do you think it would ever get to a point where college, I guess there isn't really that much college basketball. I mean, do you think it would ever get to a point where college basketball players played instead of the pros? It seems like that's the point we're getting to. Because every year more and more players from the NBA don't play.
Yeah. Well, last year some NBA players, like the last time the U.S. had a team.
I mean, the last time the hockey team played,
Right. That's what I was
they had college players.
That sucked.
Yeah.
No offense to the
It
college.
didn't suck though. If everybody did it, it'd be fucking great.
Dude, but I love like seeing like that TJ Oshie.
But you're never gonna get a miracle again. You're never gonna get a 1980 Olympics.
You're
again
right.
Like that.
You're right. So that's it on the Olympics and the basketball. Excited for that. Definitely gonna have some more Olympic content going forward. Also, wanted to mention real quick UFC this weekend. Poirier, McGregor. You know, this is it for him, guys. He needs this one, or else I don't think he'll ever get another. He'll never get another title shot if he doesn't win this fight. So
he doesn't deserve one if he doesn't win this fight. He's lost how many title fights in a row now?
You're right.
How many has he lost?
Well, this isn't a title fight.
What, title fight against a title contender. Like what I mean?
Yeah, you mean like big time fights.
Fight. How many big time fights?
Well, he lost to Khabib,
he
and
lost
then
to Khabib, and then he lost to Poirier.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
How many of those can you have?
Right. It's a good question. It's a valid question. Everyone tune in. I'm doing on Patreon, which we're going to talk about in a sec. I am doing an exclusive breakdown of the whole card. It's going to be awesome. I'm loving the UFC guy. Fastest growing sport right now. Definitely tune in this weekend to the McGregor-Poirier fight. Max, talk to the people about Patreon a little bit.
I'm going to tell you guys the perks you get, and then Evan is going to tell you about what those perks mean. So we're going to offer you guys some early access to episodes where you're going to get behind the scenes content. You're going to get to know our guests before we even interview them. And then you're also going to get exclusive content and series and trivia series and fun stuff exclusively for Patreon. So, Evan.
So, all that means you get your episodes on Wednesday instead of Thursday. You get to know the guests early before anybody else does. The money, of course, it's $2 a month, which is, change. That's the change in your pocket, fellas. So,
it's not even a sandwich.
It's not even a quarter of a sandwich.
Yeah, you can't even go to Subway and get half of a half.
You can't even get half of a half at Subway, so might as well support us because we're using the money for equipment and stuff to keep it running because we don't really make any money, so we don't make any money. we dump a lot of money into the equipment and the things to make this run. So any support is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and sorry, forgot to announce. We have an announcement for Patreon subscribers only coming at the end of this week.
Correct.
So that is very exciting. You're going to want to get subscribed for that.
That's right. Guys, make sure you follow the Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube, follow TikTok, Twitter, and literally everything else because we're on everything, apparently.
We are. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Seriously, check us out.
Google
Podcasts. We're on all podcast platforms. Obviously, YouTube's the main one, but you can check us out anywhere else.
YouTube takes the cake.
Yeah, YouTube takes the cake.
But yeah, guys, and also we'll be back for our 31st episode. Maybe some guests on there that might be familiar.
Yeah, maybe some familiar faces.
Yeah, who knows?
We'll have to see.
All right, guys, take care. See you for 31 next week.
Peace.
Hey, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the rest of our channel and subscribe. Make sure to follow our Instagram and maybe consider subscribing on Patreon for our bonus content. You can only find it there. I promise it will be well worth it. Thanks.